MrTruck here in cold January. We're at another issue of Trucks Towing Trailers. I'm here with
Kelsey McRobert.
And we're taking this 2014 Titan. This is the Pro-4X. It's the off-road version. And we're going to tow some trailers with it, or tow a trailer with it with horses in it. We got a four-wheeler in the back. We got extra payload. Pretty cool. It's MrTruck. We're going to head up toward the mountains. What kind of power do we have, Kelsey?
We got 317 horsepower with 385 torque.
Cool. And it's a 5-speed, so this is like an old school truck. They haven't changed it a whole lot from when it was born 10 years ago. Okay, go ahead and lower the tailgate. The Nissan Titan was one of the first ones to actually have that torsion assist in the tailgate to let it down easier. It's worked well, everybody else has copied them. And then this Pro step on the side here, a lot of folks use that, but you really nice to have a step to get into the tailgate without getting on your knees. I'm too old for that. And I always liked that little compartment in the corner there. Actually, my dad's GMC in 1972 had that. A little smaller box, and the Nissan has a tray in it. We're only hauling one horse in here. Basically, it's to demonstrate how easy it is to load this Logan Coach trailer. Our future reviews, we will start matching the weights to the capacity of the truck. This just is, for this kind of demonstration, is a safe weight to haul. You know, you got a horse that weighs less than 1,000 pounds and a trailer that weighs around 4,500. So we're not going to have any problem with that. We do have a few other horses in the pasture. On this trip too, we're showing the Andersen weight distributing hitch. It's a very unique weight distributing hitch. You used to see in trunnion bars or spring arms that hook it all together. It kind of makes a truss between the truck and the trailer. Allows it to distribute a weight between all the axles, which is a very good thing to do on a half-ton truck. The horses are telling you all about it. But this one, besides being chained, it actually moves. Everything moves with the ball. The ball moves with the trailer. It's not a friction type arm. The friction is actually in the ball. The ball goes into a cone-shaped hitch head, and it's got a brake liner inside there. So as that turns, it actually gives you resistance right inside the ball cone, which is very unique. But everything stays in its proper place, and not, it's not like one trunnion arm goes in and one goes out, and one's loose and one's tight. This system stays the same, so your weight distributing is very good all the time, even around corners. And in your sway control, which everybody uses some kind of a friction device, the friction device on this is actually the ball. It's the force of the ball forward and down on it into that cone. And so the bottom plate switches, moves around with the trailer as you corner. It's got neoprene bushing on the end, which actually absorbs the shock, so it's a very quiet, very smooth weight distributing hitch. It's a very unique system. I think it's going to really well, it's already catching on. But I saw this at SEMA a couple of years ago, and it's very good. And it's a very quick system. I'm in the horse industry, and nobody wants to take all that time to work with weight distributing hitches. This one, you loosen up the chains, drop the triangular plate on the bottom of the ball off, and you can take off. After you, of course, lift the jack up and unhook the trailer. And then you can also use it as a hitch. It's an adjustable hitch. But it's very quick and easy to detach this weight distributing system. So I'm hoping it'll catch on in the horse industry. The RV industry has always embraced weight distributing hitches. That seems to be how that works.
It's even got a little tray in here.
That is awesome. You can never have enough storage on these trucks. Now if we can just get the cows out of the way. We're in a pasture with several horses and several steers, and they're wondering what's going on. It looks like we could have almost got them all in the trailer at one time. They were all curious, had their noses in the trailer. But yeah, this is a nice grass hay pasture with a view of the mountains and a herd of cattle.
Really nice thing about this truck is it's got a double hinged back door. So it opens up 180 degrees. It's really nice to get into, put your groceries into when you're in a parking lot next to a car. I mean, you got some extra space, you don't have to fight around a door.
Hey.
You got it.
Okay, we're ready to rock and roll.
Alrighty.
Got the horse on. Almost had several horses and cows on.
You know, if it was that easy to load them, I think I might have done it.
Yeah, they had you chasing horses all over the pasture. Well, this is, I really want to hope we can find some off-road trails or do a little bit to get this truck dirty. Got the four-wheeler. If we get stuck, we'll jump it off and go find a four-wheel drive to pull us out. But this is an off-road package, and this is quite a machine. The Pro-4X just doesn't have running boards, so I guess they knew this is where we'd be hitting. Try to find some back roads here in the Rocky Mountains. Pulling this Stockman Logan coach with the Andersen weight distributing hitch. We're all decked out. And we've been testing some G-Tech Pro. I'll get some results of that. I'm still trying to dial it in so I know exactly how it works. Well, it's right after Christmas. I've got my new Schaefer vest for Christmas. What'd you get for Christmas, Kelsey?
I got some guns.
Guns?
I got guns.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, who would give me guns, huh?
Well, you got it made. You got trucks, you got horses, cows, guns, four-wheelers, John Deeres, you got everything.
I've got just about everything.
You do. You live next to the mountains. Oh, it's
beautiful up here.
Yep, I'd like to have your life. You just know what you're doing.
Sometimes I try.
Yeah. Well, this truck actually is pretty smooth. It's weird is it's been, you know, this came out 10 years ago. It was actually the second media launch I went to when I started this career as an automotive journalist. So I have fond memories of this truck. When it first came out, it was a big deal in the trucking industry because it was, you know, the first one to offer bed liner sprayed in. It was the first one to have electronic stability control, which is great for an empty truck. And it was the first one really to understand cargo management. It says all the cleats in the back and the rails on the side and the front, so you can hold things down, which is important when you've got an open bed. You know, things can fly out. You can drive underneath an underpass, and that causes suction. I've had things get sucked out even though they were strapped in too. So you want to really be able to throw a net on it or a tarp on it or strap stuff down. And this has a great management system. Everybody else has kind of copied them. This one has a bed extender that you can drop the tailgate down and flip it out to get a longer bed or flip it in for cargo. We've got this four-wheeler in here, and this is a 6'7" bed according to Nissan, and it fit in there fine with tailgate closed, which is nice. The crew cab in this model, you'd have to have the tailgate down and hold it in there in that 5.5-foot bed. But it is getting dated. It's got a 5-speed automatic, that same 5.6 V8 that it was born with. But I mean, we didn't do the towing mirrors. I guess we'll show those later on. But it's got the same company makes these towing mirrors that slide out that makes Ford truck mirrors. And I've always liked these mirrors, the big spotted mirror on the bottom. But yeah, this truck, it does well. They're only in, you know, they didn't try to hit every market. This doesn't really have a work truck version. They did go with a longer bed that they came out with in this king cab. I think it's 7 foot. They had a V8 automatic is the only option you've ever had. I mean, there's not really an option. That's standard. So you can't get 1,000 configurations like you could with a Ford, but that's the market Nissan was trying to hit. And I pulled a lot of traders with this, and I actually like this truck. It's a 338 axle ratio, and Nissan says it with their gearing in their transmission that converts to a 410. But anymore, all the transmissions in these trucks, they've done such a good job of putting lower gears in those first and second gears where you can take off even with a higher axle ratio and launch with the trailer and do fine, and then, you know, then you've got a final drive that gives you a little better fuel mileage.
I'd say those horses are hungry.
Yeah, horses are sitting there waiting for somebody to bring some hay along.
They got fields and fields, but they need some hay.
Yeah, yeah. Does this fit you pretty well, Kelsey?
It does. I like the leather interior.
Yes.
Well, the steering wheel, it's got the heated seats in it.
Yeah, it does. I actually should turn mine on. Now this has got like a manual shifter too. They're the first ones to do like a gated shifting thing, so you can actually go through each gear. So, you know, that's kind of what they've all gone to, so that you don't have the manual transmission even as an option. But with this rascal, you can actually shift through all the gears if you want to. You used to always put them in, you know, first gear when he's feeding hay out the back of these trucks. This is pretty well equipped. It's got just about everything.
Well, it's got the push button 4-wheel drive, or the push knob 4-wheel drive, so I can click it in here.
Yeah, you can do it on the go, and then it's got a lock for the differential, a button down there, and you can shut off the electronic stability control if you want to go out and really raise some heck with it. But this truck, this is like a sports car truck. You can take it out without a trailer, and you can skid around corners. You can drift with it. You can do a lot of things. You can always break it loose on a corner. It's a lot of fun to drive. I mean, you don't have to do any of that stuff, but I mean, this is a truck that has the ability to handle more like a car, which has always been fun. Whenever we did these ones on autocross in Detroit, this was the funnest truck of all the trucks out there to take around the track. And this tailgate's had a strut in it forever. They were one of the first ones to do that too, to make the tailgate lower. And this has got that AMP step on the side that you can pull out and step up in the corner like you saw Kelsey do.
And it's not a heavy tailgate either, which is nice.
Yeah, and it's got that strut assist that make it work with you. I was really glad that Nissan put in a brake controller. They don't have a factory integrated brake controller, but they did install one so we can pull trailers with it. So hopefully maybe when the 2015 Titan comes out with that 5-liter diesel, maybe we'll have integrated brake control. That would be a good move for you, Nissan.
Be nice.
Yeah, because people do tow trailers with this. Part of that Pro-4X package, it does have the skid plates all around, so we could get into some of the sand, some of the dirt. I don't know if we want to get into the rocks.
Trailer.
Yeah, this would actually go off-road. Lock that differential in and we could go a lot of places. With our heated seats in a blizzard, that'd be fun.
It wouldn't be bad, actually. I wouldn't get cold.
Yeah, that's what we got to do. We have to come up here in a blizzard sometime. Just got to get Nissan to let me have this for a couple of years and we'll get all those shots in.
See how well it does in the snow?
Yeah.
I like the Nissan trailer towing mirrors. They're expandable.
Awesome. See around that trailer.
Mm-hmm. Makes it very nice.
Getting closer. Showed 0 to 60 is 8.41 seconds. Quarter mile is there we go. We finally got her. I think I hit enough time. It shows braking distance 128.2 feet from 60 to 0. Okay, we'll call that good. We got braking distance and quarter mile time and 0 to 60 so far. MrTruck here with Oxlite's new bull ramp. Well, these are a little longer than the average one. It makes it so much easier for these taller trucks, and they're all tall trucks now. There's a few that don't do it. This is a half-ton Titan, and it's still a pretty tall truck with the off-road package. These Oxlites, they're aluminum. They've got a cross strap in the middle that keeps them so they don't spread on you. because you know that's always a problem. You got single ramps not hooked together, they can move around on you. Of course, you got the normal straps tying them down, but the cross pieces is what keeps it lined up, so you'll never have to worry about them kicking out from under you. Very well made by Oxlite. It's the new bull ramp.